All right, here we are, cooking with KAVU. But just like fun, which has no season, I would like to introduce you to one of my favorite entry-level cooking dishes that also has no season, meatballs.
Loosen your waist belts, because we are here to eat. KAVU Cooking. It's what's for dinner. KAVU Food Network. Anything else?
Come along, cooking with KAVU, we're back. Here it comes.
So we have 1.5 pounds of ground beef. We have a ½ pound of veal, which you can substitute for another more ethically farmed animal if you choose. Anything that's gamey will work. Lamb, bison, just something that will kind of give it that extra little flair. First thing we're gonna do is add the eggs. I double the recipe every time, and then that way we can have a lot to freeze. And once you kind of cook these halfway through and then freeze them, and they stay good for, 6 months, a year. Actually, I'm gonna move this around a little bit. The key with all this is you're gonna mix it, but you don't wanna over mix it. So I started recording this and I realized that it's actually not that visually aesthetic to watch me grind a bunch of stuff into raw meat. So I'm just gonna tell you what I put in this, and then we're gonna kind of skip ahead to a couple sections. So we have basil, flat leaf parsley. This is the wild card if you're gonna put this in, fennel. I ended up doing my first batch without fennel and the second with, and I realized that I actually do quite enjoy the fennel in there. We have garlic, which I've added, breadcrumbs, bread that basically has been soaked in whole milk. So you take the crusts off, soak it in whole milk. The final one we're gonna do here is, I just gotta see how much it is, 1 cup. So I'm doubling the recipe. So 2 cups of grated Romano cheese. Cheese, meat, breadcrumbs, eggs. These are the things that make us go round and round in life. And then a bunch of salt. Depends on, my wife loves salt, so now I love salt. So there we go. I am going to grind this up. This does not look great, but it's gonna look great once we get it all together. The beauty about this is, like I said, once we do this and get them kind of into their meatball form, ski season's coming up for us, so we're gonna put the paddle boards away and get the skis shined up and, grab a meatball if we need to get a little energy before we head to the hill. So now at this point, basically, I'm just gonna cover it. I'm gonna put it in the fridge for an hour. All right, time has marched on. First, we will get a little cup of cold water, place that there. Then we'll grab out ice cream scoop. The meat has rested for an hour in the fridge, and we're just gonna grab a scoop. So just get it into a meatball-like shape. That's that. So now we're gonna throw these meatballs back in the fridge. We leave them for 30 more minutes, and then we're gonna cook them. All right, be back in a minute.
So I'm back. And we are going to pull the meatballs out of the fridge. They've been in there maybe a good hour and a half. I went and worked out, and I came back, and look at these now. Look at these babies. Woo! I'm gonna go out and cook these on the griddle. But one of the things I wanna show, just because, we're a bunch of adventure athletes that are kind of going towards the softer core of our sides as we get older, aging adventure athletes. But what we can do is we can cook meatballs with a lot of different angles. So I'm going to show you some of the mounts I've used over the years to capture content from Iran to Italy, and how they kind of translate to cooking meatballs. All right, here we go.
I'm going to season this a little bit, just get a little bit of that on there. Ooh, yeah. We're going to move that around. Whoa, careful, don't hurt yourself. Little spicy meatball. Okay, that's a lot. That's all right. We're going to start laying these things out. So you're just going to cook them 3 to 4 minutes on each side. This recipe is definitely an Italian-American amalgamation that is pure goodness. So I've actually never had spaghetti and meatballs when I was in Italy, but where I grew up in Long Island, this was kind of one of the primary dishes that you had as a kid, and they're absolutely delicious.
Just like, oh yeah. We're gonna get in there, we're gonna flip. Oh yeah, look at that.
There's the old flipper. See that?
Count it. that's a live. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that's live action. So we're just gonna, like I said, we cook them 4 minutes on each side, and then this is when we can freeze them, or this is when they can go in the marinara. So then, if we're gonna cook them, say tonight, I'll have prepared my marinara usually the day before, because marinara needs to get together and make friends with itself. You just can't make marinara in one night and then eat it. It has to all kind of coalesce, get used to being together. So then you cook them in the marinara for 10 to 15 minutes on medium high, and that finishes it off. Gives you a nice tender meatball. Advanced meatball cooking. This is not, they're not supposed to be cooked all the way through. Like I said, remember we're gonna cook them for 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. But I do, some of the ones that are a little bigger, I like sealing them in. If they look like there's red kind of falling out, just kind of turn them up and seal them in. Whoops, hey. Oh, I like that one better now. All right. All right. Oh, shit. Here we are. One more mount. We're just gonna get a little more oil on here. Meatballs and mounts. Cooking with KAVU. I like to cook a lot. I like to cook a lot. I mainly like eating, actually. Oh, I like cooking to eat, I guess. I mean, which came first? So we're gonna do the, oh, here it comes. We're gonna get, and the drone shot. And flipping meatballs onto here. So that's it, that's all. That's how to cook a meatball. Here's our spoil. So we are gonna kick this series off to other KAVU athletes and adventurers. Up next is Jeff Shapiro, and he is gonna talk a little bit about a trip to Kashmir that he did with Chris Gibbish. And kind of an American version of curry that he brought back with him. So stay tuned for that, and then hopefully we'll get Steph Davis next, and on and on. So thank you for joining us again for Cooking with KAVU.